The Dust Bowl of the 1930s was a period of severe dust storms and soil erosion that affected the Great Plains region of the United States, particularly in Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, Colorado, and New Mexico. The Dust Bowl was caused by a combination of natural and human factors, including drought, overfarming, and poor land management practices. In the early 20th century, farmers began to settle in the Great Plains region, attracted by the availability of cheap land and the promise of a new frontier. These farmers brought with them farming techniques that had worked well in other regions, but were not suited for the unique climate and soil conditions of the Great Plains. One of the main factors contributing to the Dust Bowl was the practice of dry farming, which involved planting crops in areas with little rainfall and relying on natural moisture to sustain them. Dry farming had been successful in other regions, but the Great Plains had a semi-arid climate with unpredictable rainfall patterns, making it a poor choice for this type of farming. Another contributing factor was the plowing of the grasslands, which disrupted the delicate balance of the soil and led to soil erosion. The deep plowing techniques used by farmers exposed the topsoil to the harsh winds of the Great Plains, making it susceptible to erosion. The combination of poor land management practices and a series of droughts in the 1930s led to a period of intense dust storms that lasted for almost a decade. The dust storms were caused by strong winds that swept across the Great Plains, picking up loose topsoil and carrying it for miles. These dust storms were so severe that they caused widespread damage to crops, livestock, and homes, and forced many farmers to abandon their land and migrate to other regions in search of work. The impact of the Dust Bowl was felt throughout the United States, as the dust storms carried soil and debris as far east as New York City and as far south as Atlanta. The dust storms also had a significant impact on public health, as the fine dust particles could cause respiratory problems and other health issues. The federal government responded to the crisis by launching a series of initiatives to address the environmental and economic impact of the Dust Bowl. The most notable of these initiatives was the Soil Conservation Service, which was established in 1935 to promote better land management practices and prevent soil erosion. The federal government also provided assistance to farmers affected by the dust storms, including subsidies for crop insurance and financial support for those who were forced to abandon their land. The Dust Bowl had a profound impact on American culture and literature, as writers and artists documented the hardships and struggles of those who lived through this period. John Steinbeck's novel, The Grapes of Wrath, chronicled the journey of a family of Oklahoma farmers who were forced to migrate to California in search of work. The photographs of Dorothea Lange and other photographers captured the desperation and poverty of those affected by the Dust Bowl. In the long term, the Dust Bowl led to significant changes in agricultural practices and land management techniques. The federal government's response to the crisis helped to promote the adoption of new farming techniques, such as crop rotation and the use of cover crops, which helped to prevent soil erosion and promote soil health. The Dust Bowl also led to the development of new environmental policies and regulations, such as the National Environmental Policy Act, which was passed in 1969 to promote sustainable development and protect the environment. In conclusion, the Dust Bowl of the 1930s was a period of environmental and economic crisis that had a profound impact on the United States. The dust storms that swept across the Great Plains during this period caused widespread damage and forced many farmers to abandon their land and migrate to other regions in search of work. However, the crisis also led to significant changes in agricultural practices and land management techniques, as well as the development of new environmental policies and regulations. These changes helped to prevent future environmental crises and promote sustainable development in the United States. The Dust Bowl serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of responsible land management and environmental stewardship. It also highlights the importance of adapting farming practices to the unique climate and soil conditions of different regions, rather than relying on one-size-fits-all solutions. By learning from the lessons of the Dust Bowl, we can help to protect our environment and promote sustainable development for generations to come.